Hey guys, back for another Let's Talk Swimming episode together with Alex from Scale Swimming. He's here with us. He's enjoying his time in his office with the nice little earth in the background because he swims around the earth at some point in his world. In his time. Yeah. No, actually going back, just kidding aside. So we have another episode. We have another mysterium which we need to solve, another thing which we need to solve. And it's breathing. It's not the breathing patterns, we had that a couple of times, but it's the breathing, the motion, like the movement of the head and what shall it do. Last time we had body rotation, shoulder rotation. Now this plays into it, and we put it at a middle part. It's like a mechanic series, and so today we have the head rotation or the head movement in freestyle swimming when it comes to breathing. Because I was asked several times, or where should my head be, and it should look down, and all these kind of things. What is your take on it, and how do you look at this?
Okay, so hello, by the way, and hello, people. So there's a couple of bits in relation to this breathing. In fact, the other day, I don't know when I'm going to put this out, but the other day I created a nice little reel about breathing in the air pocket and what the air pocket's all about. So people need to go and have a look at that. But we'll come on to the air pocket in a bit. So where your head should be, really, it should naturally be where it naturally falls. Okay. So we're not looking directly down. We quite often look forward a little bit. Okay. And there's a nice sweet spot that people talk about of the angle forward, which is maybe depends on how deep your pool is, but normally a few meters in front of you is where you're going to be looking. Okay. Now, I kind of like look maybe that far forward, but sometimes I look a little bit more forward, further forward. Okay. And I've had a couple of comments, not a couple, like actually I had one comment. Someone said, "Oh, your head's way too high," but it's where it feels natural for you, right? So if some people if they put their head forward or look up a little bit more when they're swimming front crawl, they'll feel pressure on their neck, but I don't. So it's all right for me. And in fact, I'll use an example. Last year in Doha at the World Championships, Bukov from Ukraine, who won the 50 freestyle, beating McAvoy and Ben Proud and such like. You have a look at, let's try and find some footage, but you have a look at his head position. He is literally looking straight up towards the wall, okay? So we've got one of the fastest swimmers currently in the world that looks up. So this is the point of this is that there is no one size fits all. There is no way of the exact angle that we should be looking at or resting or looking forward. It's really wherever is natural to you. But basically, don't look straight down because that's going to create a few issues of, well, one, you're not going to even be able to see where you're going. But where do you look when you swim?
Well, I look pretty much how textbook it is saying. So, I mean, when we all do this, first of all, swimming is, yes, there is an element of, just as a side note, there is an element of textbook, and you need to do according to the lines. There are certain cues which you need to have and follow to become there. But as soon as you have those and you have those technical elements embedded in your technique, you start to optimize for your own body. So I look pretty much these 45 degrees to the front, and I'm pretty much spot on. The problem is, or what usually people have is, most likely is when their legs sink, usually in the back, then it's their head is too high, or they look to the front or something like that. Now, let's take the elite swimmers out of the whole equation, or take me out of the whole equation. We can still, just to say that, we can still move our head and look forward, and our legs are still up. But most of the people who start swimming, they cannot do that. Mostly because if they look to the front, they also lift their head. What happens on the backside? They tilt, and their legs go down in the water, and so they're deeper, and then obviously they have drag from the front, like the water is pushing against their legs, and then it slows them down, and so they always come, why are my legs sinking? The head needs to be comfortable in the water. It needs to be like really flattish. Now if it looks down or looks to the front, everyone is its own, or to the front, that is for everyone. It needs to be comfortable for you. Now, that is the one thing. The second thing is what does the head do in the end? The head rarely moves on its own. It's always a movement with it. I mean, when you're not breathing, you actually look down and it needs to be stable. You need to avoid having these bob-ins and whatsoever. Either the whole body bobs because of a gallop freestyle, where you have this technique, or otherwise it stays flat. And this you see with sprinters, with backstroke and whatsoever, it stays where it is. The only time when it actually moves is when you're breathing. Again, what we learned last time was that the body rotation is always doing the same movement on both sides. And now when you look at my head is very stable, looks at the camera, and this is what happens in the water as well. And when I need to breathe, I go with it. And I go with it. If I only do it to the one side, or if I do it bilaterally.
You know, you look like an owl. Have you seen an owl in slow motion?
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. And it is exactly it. When you move it, or an owl or a pigeon, when you move it, their head is very stable. You can move the body, and there's like a gimbal there. And this is how it should be. And that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So the head never rotates actually on its own. There is a few optimization things depending on the technique, but then again, we're going to a level where you already can do what I'm telling you, and you're flat in the water and everything. That we already go in there, but usually it really just moves with your shoulder to the side and with the back, and then it stays where it is, and the rotation is still equal on both sides. Would that be something you would second?
Yes, I've seconded it. We've ticked it off. I second what you've just said.
But also, and then we have another topic which we look at the next time, is what happens with the breathing as such. But or for another time is this bow, like this is a brief pocket which is created through the movement of your head, and that would be the body position in the water connected to that, and that would be another topic. And yeah. That was it from my side. Do you have anything else to say? Come on.
Yes, I have. I've got something else to say. So,
good.
What people are saying. So you've talked about being an owl, keeping that head. So when you breathe, and when you breathe to the side, what happens to beginner swimmers and triathletes is that they're desperate to get, and this is linked to the air pocket or the breath pocket or whatever we call it, but it's not quite the same. What happens is, and we're talking about the position of your head, people will over-rotate their head and look all the way up, okay? So they'll turn because they're scared of getting water in the mouth. And like I say, this is closely linked to the breath pocket, but not the same. But what happens is if you're looking all the way up there, there's going to be problems because it's going to make you snake through the water. And we will talk about this in more detail, but basically aligning with what you just said of your head position and head movement, I always say, just think about looking perpendicular to your body. Okay, when you breathe, just look at that angle. Okay, so this is not to do with the breath pocket, but this is to do with your head position.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So wherever your head is natural. Okay, you're swimming along, and when you take your breath, you don't want to be looking back. You don't want to be looking forward. You want to be looking to the side. Okay, like 90 degrees, perpendicular away from your body. Agree, disagree?
I agree. I second that too. So we were another tick box here. That's good. That's another one. So again, just to sum it up for the body, like the head rotation, that would be the topic, and solving some misconceptions there. Again, the head actually should be comfortable in the water, slightly tilted to the front, that you look to the front, not causing your legs to sink, but also the head movement is, if it goes with the body, like in breaststroke, you're not going to look up, you're going to move with your body, but it moves with your body rotation. So if you go breathing, we go with it, we lock it in, and we go back, and otherwise it stays down and just in a neutral position. That would be my thing, and yeah, that would be for it for today, I think. No, so
all good.
Alex from Scale Swimming, Dr. Alex from Scale Swimming. So he's a doctor now. I call him only doctor from now on. Follow him on Instagram, Scale Swimming. Me, Marcus Martal, YouTube. They have also a YouTube account. And until next time when it's called Let's Talk Swimming.
See ya.
Yes.